Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In my last lecture, I was discussing the definition of linear span. Today I will continue it. Firstly, I will repeat the definition and take some examples of linear span, and then I'll prove that linear span forms a vector space. So firstly, the definition of linear span is as follows. The linear span of the set S is the set of all possible linear combination of finite sets of elements of S. That is, suppose you have a set S and you are taking the finite number of elements from the set S and making the possible linear combination with the help of those finite elements. Then the collection of all such linear combinations can be put into a set called linear span of the set S. So I hope the definition is clear to all of you. Now I will take one example. Suppose I have a set S equals to 1 0, 2 0, and I want to make all the possible linear combination with the help of these two elements of S. Then what I need to do is I will take two scalars belonging to some field F, where S is the subset of V over F. Okay, alpha and beta I am taking from F. Now I need to make the possible linear combinations with the help of these two elements of S. So what it will be? Alpha into first vector, that is 1, 0, plus beta into second vector, that is 2, 0, that will be equals to alpha, 0 plus 2 beta, 0. Now if I apply the component wise addition, then this becomes alpha plus 2 beta, 0. Now the set of linear span, that is the set of all possible linear combinations of the elements of S, will be equals to, in this case, alpha plus 2 beta, 0, such that alpha and beta belongs to R. That is, the field that it is taking is R. So just define it over R. So hope this definition of linear span as well as the example is clear to all of you. Now we will prove that linear span of S, that is this non-empty subset of V, forms a vector space V. So LS forms a subspace of V over F, where S is the subset of V over F. Now in order to prove that this forms a subspace, we have to take two elements of LS. So let alpha, beta be two elements of LS. So if they are coming from LS, and we know that all the elements of LS are of form linear combination, so we need n elements from the vector space V and n elements from the n scalars from the field F. That is, alpha must be of form A1 alpha 1 plus A2 alpha 2 plus plus an alpha n. And similarly we can define beta for different scalar and vector b1 beta 1 plus b2 beta 2 plus plus bn beta n, where ai's and bi's are elements of field F. And alpha i's and beta i's are elements of S. Now, in order to prove that L of S is a subspace of VF, we have to apply the test, that is alpha, A alpha plus B beta must belongs to L of S. Then we can say that L of S forms a subspace of V over F, where A and B belongs to the field F. Now we will put the value of alpha and beta in this value, in this term. So A alpha plus B beta is equals to A into A1 alpha 1 plus A2 alpha 2 and so on, A and alpha n, and then B into the value of beta. So if I take the product of each scalar with the element, with the each part of alpha, then I will get A dot A1 alpha 1 plus A dot A2 alpha 2. This is nothing but the distribution property of vector space. So I am distributing A over alpha. So this becomes A dot A2 alpha 2 plus dot 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 plus A dot AN dot alpha n plus B B1 alpha 1 plus B B2 alpha beta 2 and so on, B Bn beta n. That is, we are applying B over the B1 beta 1 plus B2 beta 2 and so on. So if I use the associativity, then this becomes A1 alpha 1 plus A2 alpha 2 plus dot 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 plus AN alpha n. Because the product of two scalars is again a scalar, then I can name it a new scalar, and this is nothing but the linear span of S, because this is again written in the form of linear combination of alpha 1 alpha 2 dot 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 alpha n, and this is again written in the form of linear combination of beta 1 beta 2 dot 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 beta n. So this is nothing but the linear span of S. This is equals to A alpha plus B beta. This implies A alpha plus B beta must belongs to linear span of S. This implies linear span of S is a subspace of V over F. Hence, we are done that linear span of S forms a subspace of V over F. Now we will discuss the definition of linearly dependent and linearly independent vectors. Linearly dependent. A subset S of a vector space V over F is said to be dependent or linearly dependent if there exists x1, x2 dot 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 xn. These are n vectors belonging to S, and scalars alpha 1 alpha 2 dot 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 alpha n belongs to F. Remember this always, that not all scalars 0. These all scalars cannot be 0, such that alpha 1 x1 plus alpha 2 x2 plus dot 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 plus alpha n xn, that is the linear combination of x1 x2 and so on xn, is equals to a 0 vector. But remember, all the scalars may not be 0. In this case, we call this the set of vectors x1 x2 and so on xn as the linearly dependent. Now I will take one example. There are more methods to check that whether the given set is linearly dependent or independent. I will discuss it, but today we will discuss just the definition and the examples. So our first example is set S equal to 1 0 1. This is the first vector, and this is 2 0 2. This is second vector. This is contained in R cube over R. So this is our V, R cube over R. Now if I take two scalars alpha beta belonging to R, then A alpha x plus beta y is equals to alpha into the first vector x 1 0 1 plus beta into the second vector 2 0 2. If I solve it, this becomes alpha 0 alpha plus 2 beta 0 2 beta, and if I take the component wise addition, this becomes alpha plus 2 beta comma 0 comma alpha plus 2 beta. Now the linear combination of these two vectors x and y should be equals to 0 0 0 according to the definition of linearly dependent vectors. So by comparison, we have alpha plus 2 beta equal to 0 and alpha plus 2 beta equal to 0. Since both the equations are same, so there exist infinitely many values for which this equation will give us 0. There exist infinitely many non-zero solution. We need the non-zero value of scalars. So there exist infinitely many non-zero values of alpha and beta for which alpha plus 2 beta is equal to 0. So we get the non-zero values of scalars alpha and beta. This implies the set that we have taken is linearly dependent. In short, I can write it as LD. Now we will discuss the definition of linearly independent vectors. Now, linearly independent. A set S containing the vectors x1, x2 and so on xn defined over a field F is said to be Li if there exists some scalars alpha 1, alpha 2 dot 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 alpha n belongs to F such that this linear combination is 0, but this times all scalars should be 0. There does not exist any scalar which is non-zero. If this type of condition holds, we call that the set of vectors is linearly dependent. So for linearly dependent, we need all scalars as 0, and for linearly dependent, we must have a scalar which is non-zero. So that's the big difference between these two vectors, set of vectors. So let's take one example. This is our set S in which I am taking two elements 1 0 and 1 2. This is contained in R square over R. So let's take two scalars alpha comma beta belonging to the field R. Then alpha x plus beta y is equal to 0, should be equals to 0, and this implies what? Alpha equal to 0 and beta equal to 0 if the set is linearly independent. Then in this case alpha and beta must be 0. So let's put the values of vectors alpha into 1 comma 0 plus beta into 1 comma 2 equal to 0. If I solve, this is 0 0 in ordered pair because we are taking each and every element from R2, so they must be of form in the form of ordered pair. So let's write it alpha comma 0 plus beta comma 2 beta equal to 0 comma 0. If I apply the component wise addition, this becomes alpha plus beta comma 2 beta equal to 0 comma 0. From here we get alpha plus beta equal to 0 and 2 beta equal to 0. Since 2 is not equal to 0, this implies beta must be 0, and from here alpha equal to 0. So what we get that both these scalars alpha and beta are 0, and that's the requirement for the set to be linearly independent. So S is linearly independent. In short, I will write Li. So I hope the definition of linearly dependent and linearly independent vectors is clear to all of you. This is not complete for now. Tomorrow I will discuss some more examples and some more concepts related to this topic. Till then, goodbye and subscribe my channel. Thank you.